Welcome to Swarf and Chip's MTD Network Takeover. So, coming up on today's show,
I talk MTD Network and explain more about who we are and what we do on the network.
We'll also be learning a lot about what the networkers are doing and maybe get some inspirational hints and tips, and we'll see some of their own processes.
As we know, engineers are busy making components, heads in the machine, and we're here to promote them and their products. So today we take a look at a few of the engineers we actually visited, if I can say that, in 2018.
Oh, and you can find out how you can star in the next Takeover show.
So welcome to the Network Takeover show. And what is the first video?
Quenching. Okay, short video, but what's it all about? What's the process? What does it do? Who does it benefit?
Thermofax, based in Birmingham, actually the Black Country, got to get that right, Tom told me off last time. So, huge warehouse, they've got this fantastic machinery, basically heat treatment, that was 1065, well as it says in the video, 1065 degrees, down to 10 degrees, 14 seconds, it's making the material harder.
Okay, who's that going to benefit?
Well, it depended on what kind of materials that you've got and what kind of qualities that you want from that material, basically. So anyone that needs their materials hardening effectively, but they've got the capacity to do such large components as well.
Well, they could do components, sort of, not very technical, sort of tiny ones like this, but I've got on the network site, we've got pictures where they've done something 6 meters diameter, so huge. They've done a bow of a ship as well, so you can imagine. So Tom, when you're watching, we need to get out and film it because we are trying to get in there, but it's got a few NDAs. So once we've got that all signed off and everything like that, we'll be out there to make some
and companies
great
like
videos.
this, Colin, really I like the diversity of the network, the diversity of the companies that are on the network, and the kind of the kind of different companies that can help each other through the different processes that they offer.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it's value being part of the network, just to have to be part of that group of companies.
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
That's Thermofax in
Thermofax, that's right.
Thermofax
Come
in
on,
the
Lindsay.
Black Country.
Yeah.
So next up, Kale & Co, a successful and busy company. Maybe we could get some tips from Steve.
So an example of a machine we've got here to do some Guma, for example, turning diameter 900 mil, is that right?
Yeah, 900 and a similar sort of height as well. We have a slightly bigger machine in the Toshiba next to it. It will turn 1.1 metre diameter.
Right, so some big parts. So you're looking smaller batch runs, but the bigger parts, is that right?
It's difficult, but we try and complement the site again with batch work on some of the smaller machines, and that makes it easier to manage. It means we don't need the management structure on this site that we have up at the other site.
Now, that's sort of mainly turning here, but I also noticed EDM, all varieties of EDM.
Yeah, we've got a lot of wire work going on. We tend to be running them 24/7 as well.
Yeah, some really fantastic components there. And also on the other side, some great machines, more your 5-axis, your smaller components, is that right?
Yeah, some big investment at the other site as well, ongoing investment as well, mainly with people like Matsuura and Nakamura, buying some of the high-tech stuff, 5-axis machining centres, horizontal machining centres. Good capability up there, but on smaller work.
Isn't Steve such a lovely guy?
When we visited there, so accommodating. But before we go into that, just want to clarify, the videos are not the full-length videos because we'll be here all day. Great videos. We've just taken about a minute-ish of each one that we're showing today, and it's more about trying to get parts flying around and Swarf and Chips flying everywhere, basically.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what we want to do.
And we'll see some Swarf and Chips later.
Great machine shop. But you've visited them loads of times, Gio.
Yeah,
so.
I've mentioned before what an absolutely fantastic guy Steve is, and following our visits...
That's because he's up for renewal.
Well, following our visit, he sent us a lovely email, and I've got it here, and I'll read it out, and it's quite touching, really. Steve's words are, Swarf and Chips is a great show. I always enjoy it and also use the machine reviews when I'm looking for new kit. It's amazing how many times you've reviewed exactly what we have been looking for. We also find it very useful for when customers that have never seen Kale & Co due to their location, we can send them the video links so they can watch and see what they do. Hence, it gives them great insight into the useful information about us and promotes us really well. Thanks to everyone at MTD. It's the best and most informative advertisement that we've ever done. So thank you very much for that
That's signed by
testimonial,
Gio.
Steve.
No, I'm joking.
Cheers,
You know
Steve.
what? Thank you so much, Steve.
Yeah,
And
brilliant.
you cannot get a better review. When we're booking holidays and doing all sorts nowadays, we're always looking at reviews for anything that we're buying. So, Steve, we're really appreciative of that. And the network is about people like this, real life proof.
I think Gio wants to say something.
Steve's really made a good point there, though, because don't matter where really you're based in the country, you know, the network's a fantastic platform to promote yourself from. And when you've got video content that we produce, he sends that out in links with the emails to customers, potential customers. They get an insight of what they are, what they're about. It's very important. Yeah. It's perfect. Where'd you get that from?
It's a tool.
It's a fantastic tool. And he's utilising that tool.
But we haven't talked much about Kale & Co because when we were out there, sorry, you know, but it's not all
Steve's
about,
getting a lot of
it's not all about
airtime.
us. They were not on their last legs, but they were really struggling about 2 years ago, weren't they? But rather than, you know, let's give it all up, invest, kept his team on, didn't he? We've discussed this before, and now you should see where they are. Absolutely amazing machine shop, the Matsuras, the Doosan's.
And that gets me on to another point, really. Some people say, why do we need to market ourselves if we're busy? You never stop marketing yourselves, you know. You know, you want to keep evolving, keep growing, and you've got to keep.
And we can't always sit here and say invest, because we do appreciate it. It's not all that easy, but it is we are seeing a lot of companies take that plunge, and then eventually change happens. Anyway, next up, this is another interesting one. We have mentioned these guys a number of times before, an extremely experienced engineering company, but they have got some new 5-axis technology, and Gareth, he went for it, and he too has never looked back.
Full 5-axis simultaneous machining.
That's it.
Okay, so what does that mean for you guys?
Early days yet, but there's a lot of parts we already do that it will save lots of changeovers, lots of setup time on, and it means as a business we can put ourselves forward now for more complex machining, more interesting work, and do it all in one hit.
Okay, so essentially the 3-axis work, you could do that on this and make it quicker, but the full 5-axis just opens the floodgates to loads more complex parts.
Hopefully, yeah.
And in terms of the actual machine itself, faster, the processing time, the controls?
Indeed, yeah, it's the new evolution of the Hercos. We've been with them for 20 odd years. We've grown with the control, so much of a muchness to us day to day, but already showing benefits, yeah.
And I also understand you made another investment to go with the machine in terms of the cam?
It was, yeah, we bought a full suite of hypermill and all the machining strategies. We're just starting to learn that and find our way around that now. So yeah, we've got the full complement now to produce efficient 5-axis parts, yeah.
We have seen this video before, but I just wanted to go through it again because Gareth tried and tested at Wilbar in terms of, he's not tried and tested, but it's a tried and tested engineer that's been going 30 years. They bought this new technology, 5-axis machining with the Autodesk software, and you know when he first ran it, he was a little bit reticent. Is it as good as it really, you know, purports to be? And I'll tell you what, now absolutely loves it. He could not believe it. So
change the business.
Not change of business, but it's really helped in terms of doing new things, new tricks, and opening different markets.
Exactly.
It's brilliant. Really loved it.
I think it's really, this video is really highlighting their capabilities now for potential customers.
Yep, absolutely.
Definitely. Right, next over to an impressive machine shop where Paul Butler and the team have invested millions to ensure they achieve engineering nirvana.
Okay, so first of all then, out of all those, DMG Mori NLX 2500, 700, fixed head turning?
Yeah, absolutely. Although it's on our milling section, which might seem slightly strange, that's because we wanted to specifically program this machine from the cam system, and that's proved quite a big challenge over the last few years, trying to get our turning fixed head guys to adopt those methods. So we've actually got our milling guys actually don't know how to use this lathe, never used a lathe before, purely using solid cam, and that's worked really well. This particular machine's is actually been fantastic with that system, and it's been a fairly, relatively painless exercise to get it going. Actually, we did actually build on a win. We were doing a lot of Formula 1 work at the time on our 4th-axis machines. Thought this would be an easy way of doing it, which it was. But actually, what's happened? It opened lots of doors for us because we've since then put this robot on it. Now, I believe we're one of the only companies in the UK doing subcontract that's got a 5-axis machine like this, with the ability to do lights out running, making complex parts. I've got an example here of a part that we would typically make on this machine, which is a fully 5-axis machine part, quite complex, and this here would be loaded through this robot and made all over the weekend.
So I'm thinking if you're doing that conventional machine, you may have 4 or 5 on a clamp vice, whatever, or loading them by hand, quite time consuming, but you can run hundreds.
Absolutely, but equally, because this part's got a lot of scanning work on it, it would have to be on the 5-axis table quite a long time. So typically, while the cycle time is quite long, you know, if a short runs of 250 or something, this would be the way to do it, in our eyes anyway.
So the Wikipedia definition of nirvana says an ideal or idyllic place or state. So, you know, Paul's happy. He's in an idyllic place.
Well, you questioned me about engineering nirvana. Can you run lights out 24/7? Although they can't do that yet, but they're getting closer to it. That's what I call engineering nirvana. So, all right, let's go and look that up.
He's got his processes spot on, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Paul, yeah.
And again, and I know I keep saying it, but invest. He's got the DMG Moray, the Nakamuras, the Star machines, the automation. It continues. He spent a lot of money, he really has, but it's paying off.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely. Paul has definitely got his head screwed on. Now, Colin the Hobbit, gear hobbing is up next.
Hobbit. I can clarify, I'm taller than you, Bilbo Baggins, and I haven't got hairy feet. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Beard and Fitch. It's just a short video, Swarford chips flying basically. Engineers, whenever we go post stuff, LinkedIn, things like that, you get so many views of metal flying. They love it, so that's why I wanted to showcase this one. But Beard and Fitch, known for gear hobbing, been doing it for 100 years, I think it is. But this is another process they do. They're using a Nakamura machine. They've got a feeler machine, just cutting this, well, the shaft, the flange on this casting.
And they're screw cutting on the machine, aren't they now?
There you go.
Great company, Beard and Fitch.
It's great company. Adrian, the team there, lovely. Huge machine shop. Gear hobbing plus other stuff.
It kind of echoes what Gio said earlier. The network is about variety and people getting work and promoting their businesses. That's what we do.
Yep.
But a whole massive variety of what the UK engineering capabilities are.
But it's raising awareness of raising awareness of that company for potential customers and knowing all of their capabilities. Because how would people know without watching some of these videos unless you've actually visited the company?
Definitely.
And they could go anywhere, like we said about Calenco as well. They could be anywhere in the country. Nice and simple.
So next up, unlike today where it's very, very cold, we're feeling hot at MJ Allen. We need you in a bikini.
So Tim, in the background, it's getting a bit hot here. What's going on here?
Yeah, so in the background we're pouring our iron into the moulds. In this particular instance it's an SG iron, so we've modified the iron by pouring the liquid iron over magnesium. That reacts with the iron, it changes the shape of the graphite from flake to nodular. That means the iron is ductile, it can bend. And we're taking that molten iron down the shop in ladles and tipping it into the mould.
Okay. Quite a big ladle there.
It's a big ladle, yeah, that ladle's holding about 2 tons of iron.
And what temperature is that as they're pouring?
The iron that we're pouring at around 1350, 1370, something like that, centigrade.
Right, so that's in there, in the mould. How long to cool?
We'll leave that for about 24 hours, maybe slightly longer. It's in a sand mould, so it's a great insulator, so it allows the iron to cool down slowly. That avoids things like stresses and hard spots. So we'll let the iron cool down. We'll take it out at around below 200 degrees and knock it out of the sand mould.
So basically you went and visited Tim and he gave you a lesson in posh sandcastles.
Well, they're near the coast, so I think that worked. It was great. I mean, again, only a minute video, but it was just it's a great facility. Huge machine shop. They're machining castings and things like that. It's absolutely amazing. But the foundry, we've got to walk around that. It was a hot day and that made it even hotter.
It's fantastic. This is the nitty gritty of engineering.
I've been in engineering all my adult life, and I've never known how this kind of process has been done. I thought this video is really educational.
I think look out for us actually in the new year, because 2019, because we'll be doing a lot of educational videos.
Yeah, we've got a suite of them planned.
Yes, we do. Right, next up, it's not just turning, milling, hobbing, EDM. Here we learn about injection moulding. Told you it's a good one this week.
Now, you might recognise these, you probably won't recognise that. These are balloon holders and they're safety certified. This is for testing DNA. It's got 1,536 holes. I'm not going to count them, but they are down to micron accuracy. These are all manufactured at Plasticom in Kent. Let's go and find out about what they do. So, if I want a part manufactured out of plastic, how's the process work?
Basically, some people come with a sketch, and from the sketch we design it in-house. We can do an SLA or a 3D printing part, which means they give them the touchy feeling. From there...
So that would just be a sort of one-off, two-off, something like that?
One-off or two-offs, yes. And if they want more, then we have to look at an aluminium tool, but depends how many they want, or sometimes it's better just to do a prototype tool, and that would allow us to do more, and they can test it in the right material as well.
So they can make millions of parts, and all you need is just one simple drawing.
Oh, I could do a drawing now. No, that's absolutely rubbish, obviously.
Yes.
But I could turn up with that on a piece of paper, and they can design it, do the CAD, everything, and manufacture the products from sort of one-off prototypes through to millions of parts. It's a great facility.
Wow.
Such an interesting... We're supposed to be there for about an hour or 2 hours. We were there the whole day. Sorry, Sonia and Edwin, but it was such good fun.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And tell us more about the company. It sounds interesting as well. You know,
Oh,
what more can they do? You were there for a whole day.
So the initial design, they'll make the tooling, so they've got an in-house machine shop, so they'll do your milling, EDM for making the tooling and things like that. They've got such vast experience than the actual machines themselves. They'll press from 20 tonnes to 200 tonnes, and they'll make all anything you need really. The product I was holding there, which was like a tray, I think from memory, get this right, it's got about 1,500 individual wells, which need to be pressure tested as well, and that's down to micron accuracy. Those sticks I was holding, balloon holders, what you see at the fair and things like that. So whatever you want really, it's as simple as that. And they'll make the tooling, and some of these tools are like 10 tonnes in weight.
The mould tools?
Yeah.
And where are they based again?
They are in Ashford in Kent.
Now, we've heard about the established companies, but what about the new ones?
Well, what we like to do is, obviously help established companies, but new companies, if we can help them out as well, it's great. They're trying to set up their new business, get machines installed, get new customers, deal with the finance. You know, they've got a lot of stuff to do. So if we can get them on board, help them out, we will do that where we can. Great examples, Ace Precision. Now, they're based in South Wales. Phil Kinch, first machine he gets, as you always do, a Hermley 5-axis, not bad machine.
Aim high.
Exactly.
Not a bad way to start your business, eh?
Certainly is. So if you need any work, well, anywhere in the UK, because we can get his name out there to the market, but South Wales is where he's based, so get in contact with Phil. Next one is...
F7 Engineering. Now, it's great to see these new companies joining the network. We met F7...
Father and son.
Yeah, Father and son at Banbury at the Haas Formula 1 event. They've recently set up their business. They've got a Haas VMC with 4-axis rotary tables, so they've got 4-axis capability. They're looking to grow, expand any subcontract work, so get in touch with them.
And where are they based, sorry? Milton Keynes.
Milton Keynes.
Thank you, Colin.
That's all right, you know. And what about the next one you went to visit?
Nurch, that's another great startup
Conrad.
company, and Conrad. We've done a little video for them that you can find on the network channel and see what they're all about. But they've invested in a VMC, a lead well, and they're taking on any network, any work that will fit onto their machine. And again, they're looking to expand into new machinery. So again, give them a call if you want to pass any work their way.
And also with Conrad, yes, he's using the network. We promote a lot of his stuff on the network, but he's prolific in terms of social media. So he's always on your Twitter, your LinkedIn as well, and really works well for him.
Yeah.
So the next company is ProSpeed Precision. Now we went to visit Matt and Ben. Now they're in Ramsgate. He went the whole hog. He thought, right, set a business. I don't want to just buy a relatively cheap machine. We actually helped him get the finance, but he's got a high-end Haas, and I've got to get this right, VF4 SS, and it's fully spec, 30 tools, 12,000 RPM, high speed, high pressure coolant. It basically at the top end. In fact, it was one where they had the open day at Haas, I think, and Gene Haas was there. Was he trying to get rid of it? No, but I think it was an ex-demo.
It worked well.
Oh, absolutely. And we posted the video, and we've got comments from the guys over in America, so that's pretty pleasing. Anyway, more about Ben and Matt, sorry. So milling, over in Ramsgate, 30 years of experience between the pair of them, so get in contact with them if you need any work like that. And again, prolific on their social media.
I always say, oh, go on.
Sorry, Lindsay, it's safe to say that the network is really helping these companies to get where they need to get and to really showcase their capabilities and what they can do.
Definitely. We are the kind of connection between the work and the engineering company. Right, let's see some of those machines working. I want to see some swarf and chips. Come on. I love seeing metal getting cut. So how, Colin, do we get the contracts to the engineers?
Nice and simple. All you do is hit the red button, pop your details in there. That will then go out to the engineers, and then you'll get quotes for your components that need manufacturing.
And that's if you join the network. So how do you join the network and get on the next network takeover show?
Well, again, we like to keep it simple. We're simple people.
Speak for yourself.
Absolutely. But all you do, hit the blue button, pop your details in there, we'll get in contact, get you signed up, off and running. Nice and simple. And if you want to be on the next network takeover show, again, nice and simple. Just get in contact.
But most importantly about being on the network, you know, creating videos, you know, making yourself visible to the wider audience, it's invaluable.
Yep.
It gets you on the map, and people will ultimately come to you direct.
Yep.
You know, once they see you on the network channel.
Definitely. And our companies have got busier and busier and busier, and we believe that we are part of that. But you may think this looks easy, but Colin, it doesn't always go to plan, does it? And I think you've got a thing, like a love-hate relationship for someone, so we're going to have a laugh at the end here.
Our love-hate relationship. Look, we're out filming a lot, as you know, but Jake, he's editing videos all the time, so I like to keep the guy entertained, you know, put a little smile on his face, maybe.
Wind him up.
So it's not quite bloopers, but something just to put a little smile on our faces, hopefully. So watch and enjoy.
Right, watch and learn, guys. This is going to be an absolute dream.
It's Clinton, C-L-I-N-T-O-N, Vessels, W-E-S-S-E-L-S.
Everybody just called me Ollie.
Okay, O-L-I-E.
O-L-L-I-E.
Got that wrong, didn't I? You know the brief though, don't you? Make me look good. Don't worry about Paul. Yeah.
And you know the score, mate, just make me look good.
Chris, make me look good. Did you call me Rhino? Shut your face. Hold on, I'm just applying. Geo. Urco. Echo. Chris. I've forgotten what it was, but there's something really pressing I've got to do. Oh, of course, Chris. Don't forget Chris. He's behind the camera. There you go.
These processes are currently the most data-rich data.
Okay, that's because Jake, the editor, who's not very bright, are you, Jake? He hates me.
And if you F that up, Jake, I'm actually going to punch you. Editor's notes. Again, Jake, apologise for my rudeness earlier, but I don't like it. Notes. Yeah, but I don't do editor's notes. Jake's a fucking idiot. Is this on? Jake, you know how much I actually detest you even more now because I've had to travel down with you down the M21. M21? M1. So just to clarify, I actually hate you. Anyway.
Someone else is editing and they're a bloody idiot if it's Jake.
and the company is... Was that a bit rude or was that fair?
A little bit, but yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Sorry. Sorry. But not to you, Jake, I still don't like you. And Will is W-I-L-L.
Is W-I-L-L.
Sounds stupid, but my editor's stupid. Is that correct? So notes, Jake, nothing's changed since this morning. Still dislike you intensely. Anyway, moving on. And Jake, still don't like you, mate. So notes, Jake, nothing's changed since this morning, mate. Although poor guy was actually standing outside my front door for 10 minutes in the pitch black.
Did he not knock on the door?
Anyway, we digest. Serves you right. Right, Jake, I'm actually going to be polite to you because that video you did earlier was actually quite good. It's a bit of a wanker though, isn't he? Stupid statement here, but Tony, T-O-N-Y.
Yeah.
As opposed to T-O-N-I is a girl's one, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Like you, Jake. MTD
You love
CNC.
it when the camera's not on, you're always
Don't
going
tell him
on
that.
that.
Get it out of my face. Chris, I still can't remember what it was. It's something really pressing I've got to do. No, still ain't got it. Hold on.